Welcome to my YouTube channel, Next Level You. Listen, I want you to really get this because most people are walking through life on autopilot, thinking that how their day goes is determined by the events around them. They wake up, they hit the phone, they check messages, emails, notifications, and before they even put their feet on the floor, their brain is already running the show in a state of stress, distraction, or low energy. That right there is the problem. You're not living life based on your goals, your vision, or your power. You're living life based on your state. And here's the kicker. The state you wake up in, the state you step into first thing in the morning sets the trajectory of your entire day. It's like firing the first bullet that determines where every other bullet goes. That's why priming isn't just a nice idea. It's not fluff. It's not a gimmick. It's the single most important thing you can do before anything else in your life demands your attention. When I talk about priming, I'm talking about deliberately stepping into a practice, a ritual that shifts your physiology, your focus, and your emotional state. You've got to understand this. Your body and your mind are inseparable. You can't think your way out of fear if your body is tense, your shoulders are tight, and your breathing is shallow. You have to start with physiology. You start moving, you start breathing, you start energizing your system, and instantly your mind follows. And here's where most people fail. They wait for motivation to show up, for energy to land from some external source, and they wonder why they feel stuck. Motivation is not external, it's internal. It's cultivated. And priming is the fast track to it. Now let me break it down for you. Priming is not about just being busy or doing another thing to check off the list. It's about entering a state of power, clarity, and gratitude, all before life throws its first curveball. It's that space where you get to choose your emotions, your focus, your energy, before anyone else or anything else gets a say. Most people wake up and their state is reactive, triggered by text messages, traffic, news, or social media. And here's the truth. You can't control what the world throws at you, but you can control how you start the day. And how you start defines everything else that follows. It's the difference between walking into the storm ready to dance in the rain versus getting swept away because you never anchored yourself first. Here's what I want you to imagine for a moment before you get into emails, meetings, errands. Imagine starting your day with gratitude. So powerful it floods your entire nervous system. Gratitude for your breath, for your body, for your mind, for the people in your life, even for the challenges that are shaping you into someone stronger. That gratitude is not just a feeling. It's a signal to your brain that you are safe, that you are alive, that you are capable. And when your brain believes that, suddenly every challenge looks like an opportunity. Every obstacle becomes a lesson. Every interaction is infused with presence instead of reaction. That's the power of starting your day deliberately. That's priming. And it's not only about gratitude, it's about vision. When you step into priming, you take a few minutes to really see the life you want. Feel it, smell it, hear it. Imagine your health, your relationships, your energy, your impact. Your brain doesn't know the difference between vividly imagined experience and lived experience. So when you rehearse the best version of your day before it even begins, you're telling your subconscious, this is not a suggestion. This is my standard. Suddenly your body, your mind, your emotions, they all line up with the version of you that's unstoppable, unshakable, unbothered by chaos or drama. And here's the most important part. Once you anchor yourself in this state, first thing, the day no longer controls you. You control the day. You're not reacting to everything that's coming at you. You're proactive, you're clear, you're focused, you're in a high performance state before anyone else even realizes the game has started. Most people live their lives at the mercy of external events because they never take the time to prime themselves. You want to dominate your life, you prime yourself. You want to be fully alive, fully present, fully empowered, you prime yourself. You want to walk into every room, every conversation, every challenge with energy, clarity, and confidence, you prime yourself. It's a simple practice with life-changing results. It doesn't take hours, it doesn't require expensive tools or complicated methods. What it does require is commitment, consistency, discipline, and the understanding that you are the pilot of your own state, the architect of your own day, the first domino in a chain reaction of unstoppable momentum. So, the moment you wake up, don't scroll, don't react, don't negotiate with the world. Step into priming. Take control of your state and watch how your whole day transforms. Now, let's talk about energy. I want you to get this crystal clear because most people underestimate how much their energy determines their results, their influence, and even their happiness. Energy isn't just a metaphor. It's the invisible currency that runs your body, your mind, and your interactions with everyone around you. When you think about it, every success you've ever had, every connection that ever mattered, every challenge you overcame, it wasn't just strategy or knowledge, it was the energy you brought to the room. And if you're running low, if you're moving through life like your batteries are dying, it doesn't matter how smart, talented, or prepared you are, you're going to fall short. That's why priming is not just about feeling good, it's about generating massive energy that becomes your force multiplier. Here's the truth. Energy is contagious. When you walk into a room fired up, focused, and alive, people respond. Doors open, conversations shift, opportunities appear. When you're drained, dull, reactive, or disconnected, even the simplest interaction feels heavy, awkward, or forced. Your energy sets the tone for everything, for yourself and for everyone around you. That's why you've got to treat it like the most valuable resource you own, because it is. And the morning, that's prime time. If you start the day in low energy, you're playing catch up all day. You're trying to fake it, compensate, or push through. And it shows. People sense it and the universe responds accordingly. Here's what I want you to understand. Energy isn't just about caffeine, protein, or spinning in the gym. It's about physiology, mindset, and focus. When you prime, you deliberately move your body, breathe with intensity, and shift your heart rate. You start to oxygenate your brain, awaken your nervous system, and spark a flow of endorphins and dopamine that tells your body, we are awake, we are alive, we are unstoppable. Most people wake up and their physiology is a slow death spiral, shoulders tight, chest compressed, shallow breathing, brain fog. You can't think, you can't feel, you can't move at full power. Priming is the reset. It's flipping the switch from autopilot to full throttle. Now, don't get it twisted. This isn't just a physical thing. Energy is also emotional. Your emotions are the lens through which you experience the world, and they're also what you're broadcasting. Fear, anger, frustration, doubt. These aren't just feelings, they're energy states. And when you step into priming, you're choosing which energy state dominates your morning. Gratitude, love, passion, focus. These are the states that produce results. You're telling your subconscious, this is how I operate. This is my default mode. And once that's anchored, your day unfolds from a place of power instead of reaction. Let's talk about the compounding effect. When you prime, when you take even 10 or 15 minutes to activate your body, focus your mind, and elevate your emotions, the results ripple out. You walk into meetings sharper, conversations smoother, decisions clearer. You're not drained by minor frustrations. You're not reactive when someone cuts you off in traffic or throws shade at work. You operate from a state of control, clarity, and vitality. That's what high performers understand. They don't wait for life to energize them. They generate it first and take it with them everywhere. Here's the secret: the more consistently you prime, the more resilient you become. Energy isn't just about firing high in the morning. It's about sustaining it when the challenges hit. Life is going to throw curveballs. It always does. But if you've primed your system, you've anchored your state in gratitude, power, and focus, you can weather anything without losing momentum. You don't just survive the day, you dominate it. And the incredible thing is, the energy you generate isn't just for you. It lifts everyone around you, families, teams, partners, colleagues. Energy spreads. When you're alive, people feel it. When you're dull, they feel that too. Most people think energy is about external stimulation. Coffee, sugar, adrenaline hacks, that's temporary. Priming is permanent. It rewires your nervous system to respond differently, to handle stress differently, to move through life differently. It's the difference between reacting to events and creating the events you want to happen. And once you internalize this, you'll see that energy isn't just a tool, it's a superpower. And priming is your ignition key. So every morning, before the world demands anything from you, before the emails, the texts, the meetings, before anyone even knows you exist, Take control of your energy. Prime your body, prime your mind, prime your emotions. Fire up your internal system so that when you step into your day, you aren't just awake. You are alive, powerful, unstoppable, and fully tuned in to the highest version of yourself. Energy is everything. Your state defines your results. Absolutely. Here's a 700-word expansion off key point 3, written in Tony Robbins' style. Now, let's talk about focus. Not just any focus, but intentional, deliberate focus, the kind that separates those who coast through life from those who create extraordinary results. You see, most people think they're focused, but the truth is they're just reacting to stimuli, emails, notifications, social media pings, texts. Their attention is hijacked every 2 minutes. That's not focus, that's survival on autopilot. When you prime, one of the most critical things you do is train your mind to lock in, to see clearly what matters, and to let everything else fade into the background. This isn't multitasking. This is multi-achieving. This is operating from the highest bandwidth your brain can produce. Here's the thing about focus. It's a skill, not a gift. And like any skill, it can be strengthened, expanded, and refined. Priming is a ritual that trains your mind to command attention, not wander into distractions. When you sit, breathe, move, and anchor your gratitude, your energy, your physiology, you're also training your mind to say, I am the master of what I allow into my consciousness. You see, clarity doesn't come by accident. Clarity comes by design. You design it when you decide what deserves your mental real estate and what doesn't. Every distraction you allow in is like a little leak in your energy tank, slowly draining your ability to create, influence, and dominate your day. Now, the power of focus is directly tied to your emotions. You can't think clearly if your nervous system is flooded with chaos. You can't strategize, you can't innovate, and you can't take decisive action if your emotional state is reactive, scattered, or uncertain. That's why priming pairs focus with physiology and energy. You wake up, you move your body, you breathe intentionally, you feel gratitude, you envision what's possible, and suddenly your mental bandwidth is razor sharp. You can see opportunities, anticipate challenges, and make decisions that other people don't even recognize as available. Focus turns ordinary moments into extraordinary leverage points because you see what others don't, and you act on it. Here's a secret most people miss. Focus is not about trying harder. It's about training your mind to align with your state. When your energy is high, your emotions are aligned, and your physiology is activated, focus becomes effortless. You're no longer pulling attention toward your goals. Your attention naturally flows to what matters most. That's the difference between someone who grinds all day with little to show for it and someone who primes, focuses, and achieves in half the time. Energy creates attention. Attention creates clarity, and clarity creates results. It's a chain reaction that compounds over time. But here's where most people fail. They focus on the wrong things. They chase drama, fear, comparison, what everyone else is doing, what's trending, what's urgent but not important. That's the opposite of focus. That's mental noise. True focus is selective. It's disciplined. It's understanding the difference between what moves you toward your vision and what distracts you from it. And that's why priming is so powerful. It anchors your attention in what matters, not what's loud. It reminds your nervous system and your subconscious mind, this is where our energy goes. This is what's real. Everything else can wait. Now, think about influence. The more focused you are, the more magnetic you become. People feel it. Opportunities, sense it. Problems shrink in the face of clarity. When you've primed your focus, you're not just operating at a higher level, you're communicating that level to the world. You speak differently, you act differently, you see solutions others overlook, and suddenly you're no longer reacting to life. You're shaping it. You are the architect of your results because your mind is not scattered, it's laser targeted. And it's consistent focus over time that produces mastery. Small bursts of attention won't cut it. One great day doesn't make a lifetime of achievement. But when you prime daily, when you intentionally cultivate focus, you compound your results exponentially. Every decision, every conversation, every action aligns with your highest intentions. Every day builds on the last. That's how ordinary people create extraordinary lives. That's how you go from dreaming to doing. That's how you turn potential into performance. Focus is your superpower. It's the bridge between what you want and what you actually achieve. When you control your attention, you control your destiny. And when you prime, you ensure that control comes from the inside out, not from reacting to the chaos around you. Focus is not luck. It's the daily choice to command your mind, align your state, and go after what matters with unstoppable clarity. Absolutely. Here's a 700-word expansion off key point 4, written in Tony Robbins' style. But now let's talk about gratitude, because here's the thing. Gratitude is not just a nice little habit or something you do when everything in life is going perfectly. No, gratitude is a supercharger. It's a signal to your nervous system, to your brain, to your whole body that you are alive, you are present, and you are operating at a higher level. Most people wake up, they scroll, they see what's wrong, what's missing, what they don't have, and their energy drops before the day even begins. But when you prime with gratitude, when you intentionally focus on what's working, what's already abundant, what's already flowing in your life, you flip that switch. You tell your mind, I am in alignment with possibility. And that alignment is magnetic. Opportunities come easier, decisions come clearer, energy rises naturally. You don't just think about gratitude superficially, you feel it. You remember a moment that moved you, someone who lifted you up, an experience that shaped your growth. When you breathe into that feeling, when your physiology reflects it, chest open, shoulders back, spine tall, smile on your face, your brain releases chemicals that tell every cell in your body, we are safe, we are abundant, we are capable. That's the neuroscience of gratitude. That's how priming rewires your brain, moment by moment, day by day. So you operate from a state of expansion, not limitation. Here's the secret most people miss. Gratitude is not about ignoring challenges or pretending everything is perfect. No, gratitude is the context you create for your challenges to make sense. You could be struggling financially, emotionally, physically, and still anchor into what's working. You could be in the middle of chaos and say, I see the small wins. I see the people who've got my back. I see my own growth. I see the lessons. That perspective doesn't minimize the challenge. It maximizes your capacity to overcome it. Gratitude is the lens that turns obstacles into stepping stones, pressure into momentum, struggle into fuel for your next level. When you prime your mind with gratitude first thing in the morning, you literally set the tone for your entire day. Your nervous system goes from reactive to proactive. You stop chasing validation from external sources because you've already anchored your value internally. That's huge. Most people spend hours, even decades, looking for reasons to feel worthy, to get that nod, that approval. Gratitude flips that equation. You acknowledge internally that your life is already worthy, already enough, already abundant. That recognition becomes a magnet. It attracts people, opportunities, and experiences that match your elevated state. Gratitude also expands your emotional intelligence. You start noticing things you ignored before. The person who holds the door, the colleague who says thank you, the sunrise, the air you breathe, the simple fact that you have another day to play the game at a higher level. That awareness amplifies your capacity for empathy, connection, and influence. People can feel it when you operate from a place of gratitude. Your energy is different. Your presence is different. Your impact is different. That's why I say gratitude is not a soft skill. It's a leadership skill. It's a performance multiplier. And here's something powerful. Gratitude is contagious. When you walk into a room and your energy is anchored in what's working, people respond. You don't have to force positivity or pretend. The ripple effect of one person operating from gratitude can change an entire environment. Meetings become more productive, conversations become more meaningful, interactions become more genuine. Gratitude is not just a personal practice, it's a societal accelerator. The more you give attention to what works, the more the world around you aligns with that frequency. But like any skill, gratitude requires consistency. You can't just think about it when life's easy. You prime every day. You commit to it like brushing your teeth. You reflect on 3 things, 5 things, 10 things, anything that creates a deep, visceral feeling in your body. And over time, your brain rewires. You literally become wired for abundance. Your attention shifts naturally to solutions, to opportunities, to leverage points. You stop obsessing over what's missing and start mastering what's present. And here's the kicker. Gratitude fuels action. It's not passive. When you're truly grateful, your energy is elevated, your mind is clear, your state is unstoppable. You take bigger risks, make bolder moves, and create results that feel effortless because you're operating from a place of alignment. You're not pushing through resistance. Resistance dissolves because your state carries you past it. That's the magic of gratitude priming. It turns ordinary humans into extraordinary creators. Gratitude is not a ritual, it's a life force that amplifies your energy, sharpens your focus, and multiplies your impact. Absolutely. Here's a 700-word expansion, off-key 0.5, written in Tony Robbins' style. Now let's dive into visualization, because here's the deal. Your mind is like a magnet, and whatever you feed it consistently, it pulls into your life. Most people underestimate the power of imagination. They think dreams are just nice thoughts, fantasies for bedtime, but I'm telling you, your brain doesn't know the difference between what's real and what's vividly imagined. When you visualize with intensity, clarity, and emotion, you're literally training your nervous system, your physiology, and your focus to operate as if what you want is already happening. And when your body, your energy, and your brain are aligned in that way, the universe responds to it. Here's why it works. Your brain is designed to keep you safe. It's constantly scanning, constantly analyzing patterns, constantly checking probabilities. But it doesn't distinguish between real life experiences and rehearsed experiences. When you see yourself succeeding, when you feel yourself achieving, when you experience it in your body and in your mind, your brain starts rewiring itself. Neural pathways form that make you more capable, more confident, more decisive. You start acting differently, thinking differently, moving differently. Suddenly, obstacles that used to feel insurmountable feel like puzzles you can solve. That's the power of visualization. It's mental rehearsal for real life. When I do my priming exercise, visualization is the anchor. I don't just see a vague outcome. I see it with detail. I feel it in my body. I hear the sounds. I sense the smells. I feel the energy of the room. I engage every sense, because the more real it feels, the stronger the signal to your brain. Your physiology mirrors it. Your heart rate adjusts, your breathing changes, your energy shifts. And then when you step into real world action, your body, your mind, and your emotions are already aligned with the outcome you're pursuing. You're not going in blind, you're going in prepared, primed, unstoppable. Visualization also creates emotional momentum. Most people underestimate emotion. They think it's a soft skill, something to manage, something separate from results. But emotion drives action. Emotion moves energy. When you imagine your future with excitement, passion, and intensity, your physiology responds like you're actually living that moment. You're fired up, you're motivated, you're ready to step up, take bold action, and handle whatever comes. That's why visualization is not about daydreaming. It's about generating states that produce results. You're creating a bridge between where you are now and where you want to be, and every moment you spend in that practice strengthens the bridge. Another powerful element of visualization is clarity. Most people wander through life with blurry visions, half-formed ideas, and vague goals. That's why results are inconsistent. But when you visualize deliberately, you define not just what you want, but how it will feel, how it will impact the people around you, and how you'll step into that reality. Clarity eliminates confusion. It sharpens your focus. It tells your subconscious, this is what I'm committed to. This is what I'm pursuing. Nothing else matters. And your brain, always looking for patterns, starts seeking opportunities, resources, and connections that support that vision. Consistency is key. You don't just visualize once and wait for magic. You prime every day. You take 5 minutes, 10 minutes, however long you need to immerse yourself in that reality. And here's the crucial part: emotion over mechanics. You don't need perfect technique. You need feeling. Feel it in your body. Feel it in your energy. See yourself performing, achieving, and living at the next level. That's what imprints it into your system. That's what makes the impossible feel inevitable. And here's the ultimate payoff. Visualization doesn't just prepare you for the external world. It transforms your internal world. It rewires doubt. It diminishes fear. It strengthens belief. You begin to carry yourself differently. You start acting from confidence instead of hesitation, from certainty instead of worry. Your decisions become sharper, your energy more magnetic, your actions more aligned. Opportunities start appearing not by chance, but because you prepared your mind, body, and spirit to recognize them and act. When you combine visualization with gratitude, breathing, and focus, the whole priming process, you create a state that's unshakable. You're no longer drifting through life hoping for results. You're intentionally generating the energy, the focus, and the alignment that attracts results naturally. And that, my friends, is how you take control of your life every single day, by training your mind to operate at its highest level. Visualization is not dreaming. It's designing your life with precision, emotion, and relentless focus. And that, my friends, is the power of priming. Every morning, every breath, every thought is a chance to step into the version of yourself you were meant to be. It's not luck. It's not chance. It's deliberate, it's intentional, and it's unstoppable. So take control, train your mind, feel your body, elevate your energy, and watch your life transform. Your future isn't waiting. It's being created by the choices you make right now. Make them count.